Let me start. This is a YouTube masterclass, Master Sense by Faraday. And I'm HK and I'll be taking you through this journey from curiosity, artificial intelligence, on how to start building with it to earn value. All right. Okay, let me start with a brief little confession about the title. Almost everyone in this section I know has already used artificial intelligence. You unlocked your phone with your face this morning. Something recommended what you watched like last night, and maybe you asked the chatbot to help with an assignment. So at least, in this sense. So I'm not every AI product whatsoever. Everyone here is extremely experienced, but experience as just the passenger. But now this is the gap. This will close. We're trying to close this gap because there's an enormous difference in riding a car and understanding how the engine operates. So we'll be looking at the back end and how it impacts the front end and how we use it. So right now, your generation is in the back seat. So you're the passenger, but I want you guys to sit. So at the end of this, for sure, you trust that you're going to be in the driver's seat when it comes to AI tools, AI in its sense, to create value. Okay, so here's my promise. For this few time you'll be spending me, I'm not going to teach you how to be impressed by AI. You already are. So I'm going to take you behind the wow and show you the how. So by the end, you will be able to tell the difference between machine learning and deep learning without blinking. You will know what generative AI actually does and when it writes sentence. You'll be able to shut down the dinner table when there's an argument around or surrounding AI. So one thing I want to name up front is that you are sitting in this room now and you might be anxious for the I'll be speaking to undergraduates, graduates. So what I know is that there's some sort of anxiety surrounding this particular group of persons. And a lot of you are quietly wondering whether the degree you have studied still does matter. So we're going to deal with that. And for sure, you must know that AI is not here to replace you. It is the thing that makes an ordinary practitioner day one unstoppable. So your job is to be on the correct side of that sentence. Just the sentence I just made. Dangerous and unstoppable once you're able to use this. Still need thumbs up and a love smiley just to know that you all are following her. Let me see. Thumbs up and a smiley. I need the energy in the room. I need to know the energy. Okay. Yes, so almost. Okay, good one. Good one. Good one. Okay. It's good. So we'll move on. Okay, now the ubiquity of AI. You didn't start using AI today. You started noticing it. So now, last 24 hours of your life, just this morning, you picked up your phone and you looked at it. You looked at the face and it decided that you were owner, right? So you just looked at it and it opened up, right? That's what we call computer in the world of AI, computer vision. Now you open the streaming app and something at the top of the screen was automatically choosing specific movies or specific screen to watch, loads of money and prize to be won. So you just take step by step, listen up. Feel free to drop questions on the chat because I will still go to the chat to pick up questions to clarify. So I just mentioned recommendation system, and maybe you typed a half-formed question, and what you got was nearly several paragraphs of clean answers. What would you call that? Is usually this we call generative AI. So here is what I want you to notice. And we call them AI. So AI can be used in various facets of our day-to-day living. You have the recommendation system on Netflix. You are done watching a movie, and it's recommending to you another type of movie to watch. And this is tailored to you. What it has done is it has mathematically calculated the kind of movies persons like you would always want to watch. So behind what operates algorithm, and this we're going to break down here into just tiny bits. I already mentioned the face unlock, and this is phone. Your face becomes a string of numbers which the phone identifies. So mathematical part is not taken out. This is more like if you're used to your matrices and the determinant, this set of matrix makes it set on the other matrix, and it uses that to identify where the one zeros one are. And that's why regardless of your hairstyle, regardless of what you're putting on, once your phone is by your face, it doesn't, all right? It really doesn't go wrong because it is actually mathematical, just the guesswork. All right. And we have the chat GPT, like I just mentioned, and this same is generative AI. All this um, launch deep into, and clearly we would see the underworking of the back end and how we ensure that most of this all the time comes with an accurate result. So it is three different machines, one word, everybody calls it AI. So this is doing far too much work in ordinary conversation. So just like I mentioned earlier before the start, that we're just merely passengers for years. Today, we do this the right way. So we move to the slide, and which talks about AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So some school of thought usually would mix this up, but which is on display now. So here I'm going to clearly delineate what which does, because artificial intelligence at the end of the day is the destination. So the workings behind science is machine learning. So on here you can see intelligence is the ambition at the end of the day. Any machine performing a task we'll call intelligent. It's a goal and not a technique. Machine learning is the method one. So reaching that goal is by learning patterns from data instead of following written rules. So written repetition. I'll give you an instance. Imagine you have a cat, like a cat, and you want a particular machine learning algorithm to understand or identify this is a cat. When you bring in one cat with some set of little rules, saying, okay, the cat must have, an upright ear, must have whiskers, and the rest. So you just showed it the face of a cat. I tell you that at some point, the accuracy when you bring in another cat will be quite low because there are varying types of cats. There are cats without pointed ears, there are cats without furs, and there are cats without tail. So imagine a picture of a cat is taken from behind and not the front. How does your model understand that this is still a cat? So this is about the data. So you need to have exposed your algorithm to a lot of data related to cats. Okay, to a lot of data. See my screen, guys? If you can see my screen, I need a. There is nothing uploaded on the screen. Okay. I will stop. Try to share again, huh? Because I see some persons are not seeing the screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see the screen now. I need a thumbs up. Okay. So I see some persons can see the screen now. Or okay, good, good. So thank you. So I'll just quick circles carrying this three very important dimensions of AI. We have the deep learning, the machine learning, and the artificial intelligence, which finally is our destination, you know? So I'll carry on. So what we clearly need to understand is the back end working of artificial intelligence. So a lot about the data when it comes to cat has to be ingested by the machine learning algorithm. So I take a picture of a cat. I wouldn't only take the face, I take the side, I take the legs, I take picture from behind. I just bring in several kind of cats from various countries. We've got the Phoenix. This Phoenix has no. This another brand of cat. We have another type of cat without a tail. So all this I have to feed to my algorithm. So it is only then and then that we are sure that the accuracy of prediction. I will show you at the fourth slide. I will show the design of our brain. All right. So you have many layers of used in trying to predict, trying to understand whatever data has been given. So I just want you to think about it as AI being the transport, but what moves us from point A to B are the cars. The cars is the machine learning, the back end. And now the electric car is brand of car, which is the deep learning. So we just pick that and clearly understand the concept. But these are the key unique concepts, and they shouldn't rival themselves because they are virtually they're virtually behind any AI tool that you must have been using now. So they are not competing terms. They are zoomed level on the same, right? Okay, you see, I was talking about the cat, and now what we have now is how machine actually learn. And this I had explained, but now let me give you the underlining idea that started way in the past before we then evolved to using machine learning to make this prediction. So initially we were using, you know, written down rules. I understand that the pointed ears, it has fours and a tail. But we didn't take into account other kind of cats, the ones without fours, the ones without tail, and even some with the minutest of whiskers, and even falling ears. So you understand when you have a particular rule and you force that rule for prediction, what you start getting is a failed degree of accuracy. So here, a cat has pointed ears, whiskers, and arrives. There's a folded ear cat, a cat from behind, or a cat in the box, or a cat in the dark. How do we ensure that the prediction is still correct? How do we have machine learning approach? Now we're delivering brands, types, and all, and you are now letting the machine learning algorithm learn for itself. And when it guesses, you still send those data, give it an idea of areas where it failed. So it relents and continues. So this pattern is repeated a few million times, and it continue learning, it continue improving, it continue to improve. So as I said, we have the data. Imagine 50,000 pictures of a cat. The machine learning algorithm tries to understand this. It measures the error. Now the error measurement is what we call the loss function. You know, I told you everything working behind is mathematical. It's the loss function. We have the loss function, we have the degree of accuracy. So we prefer that we have a higher degree of accuracy and lower degree of when it comes to loss function, so that learning and telling the machine what it got wrong and what it got right. So you iterate several times till what we have is way accurate. In iterating and repeating this, it needs a lot of compute energy. So what I would do is give you a real life example of what I'm trying to say. So I will share a different screen, but you just let me know when you can see that. Let me see. Okay, just a moment. Just confirm you can see something else. A white screen filled with code. Can you see? I'm not sure. Confirm you can see code block. Don't be free. Can you see that?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. So just a moment. Let me check. Let me share the right screen. Yes. So here I want to take you to the into the backend. So you clearly understand what I've been preaching about. So I guess you can see now. Yeah, greetings at Oliver. So confirm you can see this now. Okay, I can see some persons are saying this. Yeah. Okay, so now I was trying to build an AI tool, an AI product that can predict a cat from a dog. And what did I do? I have this as this is what we Python. I have this as my code block. I will just run through quickly to consolidate the idea I just explained or the concept I just explained about imaging, computer vision, and trying to understand. So you can see the data that I had ingested to the model. And what you can see dogs, you can see cats, right? Dogs and cats, and this is the data. And now I am trying to build a machine learning algorithm that would clearly understand this to a very great degree so that when I come in with my tool and I point at the cat, it is able to tell me this is a cat. I point at the dog, it is able to tell me this is a dog. So I have done the whole cleanup, the modeling, I have infused. I'm going to run through this. This is just the beginning by Faraday. You will get, and at the end of the day, you get this way possible. So I'm going through all of this. I try to evaluate the degree of accuracy of the model. Yeah, this is me evaluating that to tell which it was able to detect, which was dog and which was cat. Clearly, you can see on the first evaluation box, it was able to identify everything completely. I was trying to play around on several models, about four of them. And like you can see the first model, CNN convolutional neural network, which was used, was able to get everything out, while the rest clearly didn't identify completely. And yeah, there are reasons for this. So with new, I would just go through. Okay, now this is just a visualization, and you can see how the different model performed. You see a particular. Okay, let's look at the visualization on our top right. I think it was able to, in some area and some patches, you can see the degree of accuracy isn't much, but it looks like the best pre-done compared to the rest. Because we can clearly see the separation, or the separation we had more compared to the rest of the virtual stuff. Okay, I would just stop that here. I would go to maybe let me give you just one more example, and after that example, I think we would we continue. So now this example is a very interesting one. Yeah. So I'll share my screen again, and you just let me know. Let me know. We'll see a new screen. Okay. Okay. I guess now you can see there's a new screen I have. We have a woman on black hijab, a man smoking, another man carrying a child. What do we call that? So now I built a machine learning end, and I just presented this picture as data. And if you can see well, you can see that on the box, the bounding box around this person, so you can see the degree of accuracy. It is telling me that, okay, looking at this person, it's predicted this correctly. Person, you can see that for this the man smoking, the lady on hijab, degree of accuracy is quite high, 87%. The little boy, 85%. Even the man with the dark dot on the forehead, 90%. But I want you to observe something when it comes to the ram. So he predicted the ram as a horse. So can anyone just drop on the chat the reason why this happened? Predicting a ram as a horse. I understand that we are going to be sending you quiz and exams because there's a lot to be won here, all right? So I'll just go straight. So the reason why it is saying this as though it were a horse is because majorly exposed to a horse and few rams. So if you take a cue from the example I gave using the cat and the dog and what I shared on the fourth slide, you would understand what that occurred. So a lot of this, not to worry, you'll get to know this. Continue following the Master Sense by Faraday because we have special master class as this just to build and also consolidate your confidence when it comes to AI, machine learning, and how you can infuse that to whatever degree. So I'll move on and continue with our slide. Okay. Do let me know when you can see. Continue. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can see slide. And so we continue. We're on slide 4. Thumbs up or love smiley. Let me see that. Yeah. Okay, yes. So I can see. So we continue. So we're done with this particular slide. And I gave clear examples back end on how the machine actually learns. So now let's go to the area of the creation, the critic and the author. For 60 years, AI sorted the world. Then now it is starting to add value to it. Of course, AI, the idea behind AI had started sometime in the past, and we could see the tripling effect being used in our smart homes. But now we're now bringing it of life, and we are now seeing what value it to us. So, be you in the commerce industry, be you in the engineering industry, you are able to apply AI to bring value. So, on the left, is this a cat? So, what it has performed there is more of a segregation. So, it has looked at what we have presented to it, the data, and it has to draw the line. Nothing new is ever produced. AI, this is what we are used to in the past. All right. It learns the boundary between things. Input goes in, a label or a program comes out. It judges what already exists. So you have it for your email, like your Gmail, you have spam or not spam. You have email coming, and at the end of the day, algorithm that runs behind moves some of this mail and classify them as spam or no spam. You use this in the banking industry, you could classify whatever request being made as fraud or not fraud. All right. So we move to the right hand side, and we're looking at generative AI. Draw me a cat. Imagine you're asking for a cat to be drawn. It must first, as I have said, it must first learn the whole distribution related to cats. I have shown you back end algorithm, the way it is done. You feed it with a lot of data when it comes to the cat itself, so that whatever tool you make and when you make the request, when you make the prompt, it delivers just as you want it. And you must understand there's what we call prompt engineering, because when you prompt, trust you have no problem. All you see will be value around whatever you do. Okay, so both of these methods still matters. So the critic quietly runs your bank, your hospital, even your inbox, and it is where most jobs are. So the author is what changed the conversation. It brings in something virtually new by you asking the question. It generates something instantly new. The critic is just working with what you already have. I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is where it starts being a demo. Yeah? Now we're applying this for value. Imagine cancer screening. This is a particular work in Sweden. 1,500 women where their data were now injected into a particular algorithm. And you could see the first RCT of AI in mammography. So this is the first ever. This was in Sweden. And the data speaks for itself. You know, we have standard, two radiologists, 262 cancer found, AI supported. We have AI triage and flagging 338 cancer found. You see how accurate that is? Looking at 1,500 of an AI coming to tell you that this person has cancer, whereas the person doesn't have cancer. So in the medical industry, we try to be careful when it comes to that. So they're very sure. And this helps when we have imputed a lot of data and a lot of information, subjecting those to machine learning algorithm so that it learns actively and it gives information as at when do. All right. So the actually no change in the false positive. This is the one everybody forgets. It is trivially easy to detect more cancer, get twitchy and recall everyone. So the cost is 1,000 of women dragged through biopsies. I think it's a particular medical medical question given to people with. So here we need to be careful when it comes to the data into the machine learning algorithm. So we move on to the room. Give me some thumbs up if you're following. Give me some smiley, some love smiley if you're following. Trying to see everyone is following really. Okay, okay, yeah, good one, good one. I see you at Chris Dan. So I continue. Um, I continue to the next slide. So now, when it comes to the anxiety we see graduates on the graduate face or are recently facing, really you don't need to be anxious. All you do is just take the responsibility and start up from where your awareness vanishing, they are just being rewritten. So for me, the of whatever degree you're studying, good that you adapt that with the AI knowledge. Don't just sit back and limit yourself to just ChatGPT. And I see, I guess, here, it's just about how ChatGPT could help the exams and the rest, right? So we must go past that and still keep our instinct sharp, all right? Learn the back end also. Engine works. You're able to adapt that to what you have studied. You can adapt that to your degree, be it mechanical or the rest, and also value to the world as a whole. Okay, so this breakdown, say a lot of job will be displaced by 30. The talk was around 92 million. But in as much as a lot will be displaced, we have a lot that will be created. So you can imagine the value of the 2 million compared to 170 million jobs that would be created. So the difference is 78 million. So you need not go anxious. All you just need to do is just adapt the knowledge of AI to whatever we do, whatever course we're studying. I saw an opening at some point. I saw petroleum engineering with data science knowledge. You know, petroleum engineering with AI knowledge. You know, engineering with some data science knowledge. As you can imagine, in the commercial sphere, a lot now is being done when it comes to fraud from no fraud. So recently, even some banks, to an extent, the person's data, but they were able to abate that once that happened. But how was this done? Sort of algorithm which was written by persons, but for the wrong. So all we need to do is using this knowledge, using this idea, and I would want us to think like Elon Musk, right? So we just push towards that modus operandi, push towards those ideology. And at the end of the day, we should be. You won't lose your job if you already have one. Still valuable, but it is good. You add an AI knowledge to it. You know, it's just that if you don't add, you might lose your job to somebody who. And already it is good. I see a lot of you have started to take the required step. So as I mentioned, this is just a start. This is more like an intro. We would have several where we will go deeper, improve our competence in building models, go into data science, go into machine learning core, straightforward, and we'll be good. We'll be good for it. Just stay tuned with and yeah. End of this particular lecture, the end of this lecture, there will be quizzes set. There are gifts, monetary gifts, then certificates. So we'll be giving out certificate just after this particular lecture. So I will implore you all to stay tuned, keep an ear down. Just for the quiz, the certificate will go around. Now that you have gotten the value, okay, okay. So still okay. So it is visible. So the black box and the mirror, it will explain why. So imagine you are just to download it on your phone, but you clearly don't understand to generate the results that you have. So it's clearly explainable. It's what we call explainable AI. So whatever happens, there are algorithms that were written back in. And machine learning, I had mentioned deep learning training. A lot of training has been done on the data. The data has been tested. No human wrote them. No human even can read them back end on the reasoning. The point is the goes to billions and billions of data. How does ChatGPT work? How does Claude work? A lot has been infused into those models. So let me know if you can see my slide, because I hear some persons can't see the slide anymore. I will stop and share again. Okay, I'm resharing again. So just let me know if you can see it. Okay, So I can see, okay, yeah, I see some person says it's back. Okay, good, good, good. So I continue. I continue. Just keep at it. I will say billions and billions of data, words, letters, what have you. And the model, the algorithm has learned millions and millions of time, and that is why you try typing for you to select. So this only tells that the back end seems to work on a mathematical function called the probability. So when you type this is a, it already have possibilities to come in. All right, and then it is for you to click on your tab function to accept or even write out clearly what it is supposed to be. So the better the model and loads of data, it can be right without being accountable. Started school. Yeah, of course, when we started school, we didn't see these roles. And now these roles are now becoming the intern now. They're fast growing, they're high paying, and of course, it is good, as I have said, you add this to whatever you're studying in school. Number one, we have prompt engineering, context engineer. This person's design how a model is instructed, fed context, and constrained in a real product. It's a baseline skill, not a lifelong title. We have the AI ethics and governance lead. Of course, whatever we do with AI, it has to be reasonable. There are policies around AI so that it is not used wrongly and it is not negatively. It doesn't get in the wrong hands and used, in bad faith. Models for bias, documenting its limits, meaning we clearly understand what happens around the model. Where we have a black box becomes a paid discipline. We have data curator, data centric AI, building, labeling, and stress testing the data set that cap a model quality. Once design and before actually taking that to the AI tool, it is best it is stress tested to be sure that there is limitation on the negative or the wrong output that we get from this. Okay, so there are a lot of fields that are already evolving out of this the AI the AI boom. We have the clinical AI, we have the legal AI, we have AI in agriculture, what we call agri-tech, the climate AI. Pairing is pairing this career. Pairing is the career. Pairing is the career. All right. You have people working in hospitals with AI knowledge, people practicing law with AI knowledge, agriculture with this AI knowledge, and yeah, and the rest. Okay, so still confirm that you can still see my screen. I see some complaints that you can't see my screen. Yes, confirm you can see my screen. I will just stop and still share again, just to be sure. Okay. Okay, I will try to stop again. Okay. So now confirm you can see the screen again. I think we should be able to see the screen. Okay. Okay.
It's back.
It's back. Okay.
So we'll send the quiz to them later.
Okay. So okay, good, good. Yeah, thank you. See the screen. So so there are several jobs requiring AI skills, and they're about 69% of the job. So the total job market, everything else, same period, we have 69%, and it grows. So To be of value, it is good that we adapt. I kept mentioning this. Adapt AI to whatever we do. Adapt, when I say AI, I mean machine learning, predictive modeling to whatever we do, so that it improves our value and we are ready for the market. All right. No need fear. Just keep at what you do. Start from wherever you are to learn AI. Change the job title. Just build the skill underneath. All right. So it's good you use AI tools, but here I want you to play with the builders. Go back and understand clearly how these things work, and build tools, build value, and see how that adapts to whatever you're studying. So stop being a user, being a builder. The gap between curiosity and capability is not the talent, it's just finishing a project completely. A project that relates to what you that relates to maybe a problem statement you have offhand. You try to pick one and try to close it out. And close once you have done with closing it out, share with persons. You have LinkedIn, you can put it up on LinkedIn, you can share with people, and with that we should be good. Just pick one course on it today, name one problem you personally have, try to solve that problem. It doesn't have to be very fanciful, it doesn't have to be very good. It could look ugly, but ensure it is finished, ensure it has solved something, and publish it there. Then you continue, you repeat again. So AI won't replace you, it will amplify whatever you already are. So the only question that matters now is what you decide to become. Starting from today, starting from this week, next week, to go, to go about learning this. So I would stop it to capability. Thank you, and I implore you doing something and solving problems. Thank you, guys. Any thumbs up and the rest. So remember, we have the quiz. Ensure you go for this quiz. Attempt the quiz. There are monetary gifts, a certificate that will be sent to every one of you. And
Of these courses will be coming up.
yeah. So the more details of the next section, deep dive into all of what we've done now, will be coming up in the next session. So we just keep at it, stay tuned, and catch it when it comes to the quiz that will be set. There are gifts to be won. I would love you guys to win something, and of course, you get the certificate. So thank you, everyone, and have a super great day.